Hello and welcome to the Firelands Raid Guide. My name is Aliena, and in this guide I'll show you all you have to know about Majordomo Staghelm, the second to last boss in this new raid instance. We defeated this fight with 1 tank, 6 healers and 18 DPS, but similar raid configurations may work just as well. On 25-man difficulty, Staghelm has 180 million health and 57 million in his 10-man version. Staghelm's a druid and will switch between several different forms depending on your raid's positioning. When 18 or more players, or 7 players on 10 men, are stacked up together, Staghelm will shift into a scorpion form. When your raid is spread out, Staghelm will assume a cat form. On every third shift, Staghelm will briefly shift into human form and then adapt to your raid's positioning afterwards with either scorpion or cat. The longer Staghelm remains in a form, the faster his energy bar will regen due to a stacking buff called Adrenaline. Whenever his energy bar is full, he'll use a devastating ability depending on the form he's in. Eventually, he'll use them so fast in succession that you'll be forced to adjust your positioning to make him switch forms. However, every single time that Staghelm switches forms, he also gains a stacking buff that makes him deal 8% more damage on those devastating abilities. This acts as a soft enrage timer and means you're basically forced to keep him in one stance for as long as possible without endangering your raid's survival. We found 6 to 7 application of Adrenaline to be manageable, but depending on your gear level you might want to try using 5 or even more than 7. You should start out the fight with the whole raid stacked up together, including the tank, with Staghelm facing everybody. This will trigger his scorpion form, and whenever his energy bar fills up, he'll use an ability called Flame Scythe, which will inflict about 2.3 million fire damage split among all raid members in front of him. The damage on this is affected by Fury, so it will go up as the fight progresses. Your healers will likely get behind as Flame Scythe happens faster, so you should aim to Aura Mastery or otherwise cool down the last few of each scorpion phase. When you absolutely can't take a hit of Flame Scythe anymore, your raid members immediately need to spread out across the room and trigger Staghelm's cat form. Your tank should then drag him to the middle of the room so you have plenty of space in this phase. In cat form, he'll use an ability called Leaping Flames when his energy bar fills up. He'll pick a random ranged raid member, jump on him and leave a huge circle of fire on the ground. These fire puddles do not vanish when he is in cat form, and you will need ample space in the middle, so make sure that all of your ranged raid members are at least 20 yards away from Staghelm during this phase. Every time he leaps, he'll also summon an ad called Spirit of Flame. These need to be killed as they come out, so make sure to assign some DPS to them. After about 6 stacks of Adrenaline, your entire raid should collapse on your tank in the middle of the room, and Staghelm will shift into human form, briefly stun your raid, cast Searing Seeds on everyone but the tank, and then shift into scorpion form. The Searing Seeds debuff will have a different duration on every raid member, from roughly 10 seconds to roughly a minute. When Searing Seeds expires, the raid member will explode everyone else within 12 yards of him for more than 60,000 damage, so whenever someone's debuff is about to take off, they need to run out of the raid and away from other people. No one can tell you when to do this, you have to keep an eye on your own debuff timer. Failing to leave the raid in time will almost certainly result in a wipe. On the other hand, panicking and leaving the raid too early might result in too many people being out of the stack and Staghelm switching forms prematurely. To avoid this, you should run out when your debuff has about 5 seconds left, give or take a few. That should be plenty of time to get 12 yards away from everyone else. As soon as your debuff explodes, rejoin your raid members. This is the part of the fight that will likely give you the most trouble, as raid damage on Flame Scythe will be increased with people temporarily out of the raid. Raid cooldowns should be reserved for most of the scythes. If at all possible, try to stack Adrenaline to at least 5. When you cannot handle the damage anymore, initiate cat form and handle it the same way that you did the last cat form. Afterwards, collapse on a tank in the middle once more and go through another phase of scorpion form. Since you have 4 stacks of Fury at this point, your raid leader needs to judge how many stacks of Adrenaline you can handle and call for raid cooldowns. We did 6, but 5 might be safer. The next time that Staghelm changes forms, he'll briefly switch into human form again. This time, since you're transitioning into cat form, he won't cast Searing Seeds, but instead use an ability called Burning Orbs. We'll spawn 5 big flaming mushroom-looking orbs around the room that will each attack the nearest player every 2 seconds with stacking damage. To deal with this, you should have 2 ranged players near each orb that switch off on taking the damage. Make sure that they get healed and that they switch off when they start taking too much damage, which should be around 5 stacks or so. The orbs last a minute, so they'll basically span your whole cat phase. At this point, you've seen all possible stances and abilities that Staghelm can possibly use throughout the encounter, and he should be close to death. You should aim to defeat him before the next human phase, as another Searing Seeds would likely prove to be deadly. We defeated him when he had 6 stacks of Fury during a Scorpion phase, and used a rate cooldown for almost every flame scythe that phase. It's incredibly important that your raid communicates smooth transitions. When a transition is called on Ventrilo, everyone needs to move out or collapse into the raid as soon as possible, else you chance delaying the transition and ending up with a wipe. This is especially important when transitioning from Cat into Scorpion, as you don't want Staghelm to reach full energy right before triggering his phase change, and ending up with a fire circle in the middle of the raid. Once you understand the transitioning, and all 25 of your raid members understand when to run out with their Searing Seeds debuff, this boss shouldn't prove too much of a problem. As always, good luck and have fun. I've attached footage of the whole encounter so you can see how we dealt with the various mechanics in detail. However, in this one I'm actually leaving in the Ventrilo conversation because that's gonna tell you so much more about our cooldown rotations and how we called out the different abilities than I could ever give you by just narrating it. So, if you want more detail, go have a look at that. We're starting out with the Scorpion form here and getting him to about 6 or so adrenaline stacks before transitioning.
I'm at 64.
Alright, at the 6th one. I'm jumping when this goes up.
Spread.
Don't be DPSing from middle.
Here we're also just doing 6 adrenaline stacks, but on the 6th adrenaline stack, like at the very same moment that he jumps for the 6th time, we all collapse in the middle. That gives us enough time to make it to the middle before he jumps again. And as you can see, we're all spread around the outer circle. There's absolutely nobody just kind of stuck in the middle, just so we don't get fiery circles in the middle. We absolutely want to avoid that. We want the fiery circles on the outside, far away from everybody.
Where's he go?
Right on the next gap, just move in.
Be ready, it's gonna happen really soon.
Move in now. Shield wall, face toward triangle.
It's attacking
Oh my
targets with
god.
attack.
Here he's switching into human real quick, stunning everybody, and
Watch your timer.
putting the debuff on everybody. This is the phase where everybody's just dropping their debuff outside of the raid, and raid damage spikes up a lot. So once you get this part down, you're basically good to go.
Next explosion happening. I mean, no explosion, but definitely need a CD for the next one if someone has any.
RBJ.
That's an aura mastery that was just called.
I'll get next.
Can we SLT the next one too?
Sure.
Spread on this one. I'll go with.
Spread out right
I'll
now.
bring him back when he's like.
There's not much damage going out in cat form itself, so if you have spare time you can help DPS the cat or even the ad. The only people taking damage are the ones that are getting hit by the fire circles and of course the tank.
And then, wait, no, that's not.
It's gonna be a flame orb next, so it's gonna be easy. Scorpion.
On this one, comes in when he jumps next. Now,
Just jump in.
shield walling.
Get in.
Towards
We wanna-
trying.
To triangle.
Get closer.
Okay, the side actually hitting pretty hard.
Can we get a bubble?
You use
on not
rally.
this one, the next one.
Rallying's dead.
Can you bubble the next one?
RBJ. Next day.
I got Spirit Link for the one after that.
I'll get next day.
Staring click.
Check your health stone.
I can barrier one.
Okay,
Barrier
barrier in
this one.
AM. After this one, I'm jumping away. Make sure you spread.
Use your health zones if you get low.
Spread.
Orbs in.
I need 2 people by each orb, switch every 6-7 seconds.
There's a really far one. Make sure people.
I'm with you, Bitter.
Jabba, get back here. Behind you, behind you.
When someone by dodging.
When yours falls.
Right? He's jumping.
Do we have any raid cooldowns left? Any or masteries or something?
Rallying up into.
No way.
They're probably
Tell me when you want it.
Probably kill the cat.
shit coming. Shell blocking.
Kill Orbi.
I'll hand this. Be ready to
Get Burles up.
stack.
Come in on the
stack
next jump.
one.
Shield walling. Stack.
Stack now.
Get to
Make sure you
triangle.
kill these cats.
Make sure you're at triangle. We need everybody over there. Use CD. It's gonna hit really hard.
Oh my god.
Pull down
Could you
the
back
next
up a
one,
bit?
and we'll be fine.
Make sure you're in front of the bar.
There we go.
There, we have SLC. GG.
GG.
We're good.
Alright, good job.